All right. Well, 7phoenician7's going out of town, and she just told me that Radio 1 had a new video coming out, and let me go ahead and take a crack at it since she's going out of town. And hey, why not, milady? Let me see what I can't do here. So here he is, and you can tell he's real pissed off. He's quite prognostic in the jaw, starting to try to grow out a chin beard now to mimic the Egyptians more. He doesn't wear his ankh, although he's wearing the same T-shirt he's always worn. And here we have the symbol of Africa made out of wood. And he's not going to talk about where he's from, which is way over here. He's going to talk about that he was over here somehow and a Caucasian Egyptian. And it's wider than America, wider than LA to New York, go there, and also across 200 miles of desert, but that doesn't stop him. So let's just see what he's got going on here. Now, he's got music going, but I'm going to delete the music. Ooh, fancy production. 7phoenician7 in his or her latest response video to me has once again failed and committed forgery. No, I believe you keep doing that, and blasphemy and other things. 7phoenician7 puts this distorted tinted color image on his or her video to make the image seem lighter than what it is. You can tell it gets to him that he can't get a picture of 7phoenician7. I really think he wants to tug it to her. Okay, so what we're looking at here, let's just look at this. Let's see if it all shows up in there. Pretty much, yeah, it all shows up in there. You can see it's yellowed pretty bad. What this is a terrible flash. You can see the flash is back flashing in this area and kind of concentrated there. And what we're seeing here is a tanned Caucasian man and his wife. And the only way you'd possibly get a wife that's this pale is if he was just a tanned Caucasian, for Negroids don't do this, even with admix, which he tries to show. But all over the wall here, there are such depictions as these people who are quite pale. And then these workers that are outside that are much more tanned. Pale priests and guys. Okay, well, what about their kid? Well, their kid, pale. Pale as hell. And then here's these three pale priest guys. And then there's these workers that are tanned and tanned. What up with that? There's never any answer for that. And blacks always want to try to show this and focus on, well, look how dark the male is. And y'all can't stand the sun. And the sad thing is there's Caucasians living in Egypt today. The Hyksos, the Greeks, the Romans. It's foolish for them to say stupid things like that. It's actually hotter in Texas than it is there. But let's continue. So he's going to discredit this. So how's he going to discredit all those pale people that are on there? Oh, here's the original image. Oh, okay, so what we have here now is not a bullshit camera like this guy's holding, which makes a yellow photography look like the yellow kick up in here, but he's got that blue-white light on there that they have on the badass camera sets, and he's filming it. So of course you get a different look. Some people's cameras now have a pretty good blue flash to them and they make up for it. Other ones have image correction, but no, she just grabbed a picture off the wall. Still, no matter what you say, we're looking at a tanned Caucasian man with a very pale woman, and a little pale kid and very pale priests. Yeah, just showing up. There's one more. Very pale priest. Yeah, you can't even really get him into it. And over here too. And there, pale guys. So, what's up with that? What's up with the tan guys and the real pale women and pale priests that don't get out in the sun so much? We can see the difference when the two images are side by side. We can see the difference between what Caucasians are capable of and Negroids without a cartoon drawing on a wall. But let's continue. Let's put them side by side. She's pale. She's pale. They're pale. They're pale. Wow, that's the same thing. Hers is just yellowed out real bad. I don't think she tried to Photoshop it in any way. I think it's a crap picture or a sad flash, and they're not using that badass light that the other one was done with. Ooh. Oh, so now she's committing fraud, and it's not West African primitives who are trying to say that they were the Egyptians. Not that some Negroids somewhere were. Of course, the only Negroids in the era were Nubians, and you can easily discern the two in phenotypes in the drawings. We're looking at a non-prognostic tanned man with a pale woman, but let's continue. 7phoenician7 has a habit of associating African Americans with Nubians, but never compare the two. Okay, let's go with that. So you're going to show me an admixed Negroid now that is going to be lighter than that, which is solid black. In fact, some Nubians really aren't that dark anymore either. There's admix in them and all, but you can tell they're one of the darker people. So when we compare the two, let's see the truth to ourselves. Oh, he's so proud of all this too, I'm sure. So a Nubian and an African American would look different. Yeah, but here's the problem. Show me a pale Negro woman, and show me a black man getting that pale being a priest. You can't. You can show me an admixed Negroid girl with lighter skin than a Nubian, and we can look at pictures of West African primitives right now if you'd like, and it'll show you that they're a whole lot darker than she is on an average, especially from being out in the sun constantly, but just on a regular basis, on a natural fact. But let's just let his thing keep going here, because if I remember correctly, he shows about 6 pictures. Yeah, so maybe West African primitives weren't as dark as the one on the left, but they sure weren't as light as the one on the right, which has a Caucasian phenotype, is more of a, Ethiopian look, if you will. And no, that's not a match, because you can't show me a female pulling off the pale part of that Negro. You can't show me that. I can show you me being almost as dark as that right now, and I'm an Irish guy, been out in the sun none this year since last. No, Negro, that's not a match. She's even darker than that. But worse than that, show me a pale, real light, creamy colored one like we were looking at, and you won't be able to. He tells you this is proving that black Americans are descendants of ancient Egyptians, which is a disgusting racist lie, trying to make black people all mad about a lie. You can see them making up their own racism and then getting mad about the lie. And then when people debunk them, they get real mad at white people, not at the people that lied to them, and not at themselves for being such a covetous idiot. For they're not in the Bible either. But here's the true Nubian side by side with his true descendant. Oh no. Let's see what he shows here. Yeah, so you can tell that's a Negroid in phenotype. And if you make that lighter and you make it chocolate colored, that's still the Negroid we're looking at. And I think the admix screws them up some. They seem to think it means something different. But yeah, prognostic jaw, the whole 9 yards, bulbous forehead. Yep. No, that's not debunking at all, because those were the only Negroids that were in the area at the time. West African primitives were West African primitives. The Nubians aren't Egyptians. They could live there forever, and it would be like, look, there's a Nubian. It wouldn't be, there's an Egyptian. The Egyptians were Caucasians. The Negroids believe this fantasy that the Asiatics and Egyptians were not the same race, and worse than that, they believe that they weren't in West Africa, but are somehow related to the Egyptian Caucasians. It's gotten past disgusting. Of course, you see other ones fighting with them, saying, no, we were the Hebrews of the Bible, wearing clown suits. I think that's a little more disgusting because it blasphemes God's image, but Let's continue here with his idiocy. But again, let's compare the two and see the truth for ourselves. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, so an Egyptian's lighter, Egyptian is a little darker tan, being closer to the equator and out in the sun all day, than a noble Asiatic that's coming to see the king with a blue eye. Okay, I can definitely believe that. And you see this guy here who hasn't been out in the sun so much and how pale he is living in Egypt area versus somebody who's been out in the sun all day, which he'll show you here in a second. He will mess up and do this stupid. Watch. So now we see an Asiatic almost as dark as an Egyptian. What's up with that? Well, that doesn't look like a noble really there. So as we see, he has beige or tanned colored skin and a beard. But the Egyptian has dark red skin and no beard. It has that red ochre symbolic color that goes way back. And in a moment I'll show you that the Greeks show the same thing, where the males are drawn red ochre and the females and nobility are drawn pale. It's kind of a caste system drawing, but that red ochre symbolically goes back thousands and thousands of years. By the way, the Egyptians put on symbolic beards and hang them down and stuff, just like the Sumerians did. And Negroids without admix have a real hard time growing beards. It's kind of a well-known fact. They take pride in the fact they don't have body hair and all these things when they start talking crap about Neanderthals. So he says, and also proving that the Egyptians and Asiatics are not the same, and proving again 7phoenician7 is a liar. No, see, what if you take a guy that's living up in New York and he's been working in offices and a king, and of Trump Corp, let's just say, to piss you off worse. And then he's got a friend that's a surfer dude that lives down in Florida, and he goes to visit that surfer dude. Now that surfer dude's going to have a much better tan than that. Yeah, you see, you can't get past this ignorant Negro, can you? No, in fact, you can't get past the fact that you're a West African primitive, much less try to attach yourself to Egypt, which is not a Negroid society, never was founded, and nothing whatsoever done with them. In fact, there are many boundary steles that say that Negroids aren't even allowed in there. So when you see them symbolically on the walls doing so, that's actually being done in He, or one of the places that were the markets that were on the edges. Oh no, here's the truth and the historical reality of the Asiatics. Yeah. So you can see these guys living right down there near Egypt, and they look kind of like that dude. Yeah, in fact, that dude could get more tan, couldn't he? So, man, they were getting more tan when they were down in Egypt. What's up with that? Hold on. Same as the Egyptians? No, I can show you Egyptian pictures that are just that much. Are you going to try to pick the darkest Egyptian picture you can, even though there's real pale ladies standing next to them? And then try to show the lightest of any of the other guys, and then try to somehow, well, and what's that got to do with the West African primitive? Nothing at all. But that really pisses him off, doesn't it? So let's continue to look. Oh no, none of the guys that he chose are as light as the color of the Asiatic noble. What is going on with that? Even he is looking over saying, whoa. No, well, you can't see the third guy there. Oh. Yeah, see, even the guy over here at the far right, he's cutting his eyes over there, and he's like, dude, he's got blue eyes and everything. What is this? Are those the Proto-Indo-European Aryans that they talked about? I did. So let's continue with Radio's idiocy. Radio idiot. These accurate image debunks your entire fake Abu Sir mummy. That's weird, because they only had 6 colors going on, and it's pretty much like crayon drawings kids in the 7th grade could do now. It's not that fantastic of artwork that you could really hang a nail onto, but what we can hang a nail on is West African primitives didn't even know Egypt existed. They're also not a part of the Bible. Oh no. Now look. He is even lighter than this guy. And look, that guy's that Egyptian color. So he has to say something about, oh, well, let me keep doing it there. Look at the guy up there, boy. God darn it. Of course, they've got long Caucasian hair and stuff, so you're not going to be able to go with that. Of course, the Egyptians have a lot of those too, and the wigs and things they've all shown. And every genetic study that's been done on craniometry and things shows Caucasian hair, but that doesn't stop blacks from lying that West Africans were somehow East African Caucasians. DNA studies tell many lies, but the truth is in what you can see for yourself. Oh no, my pulse races. Okay, so look how much darker they are here when they hang around in Egypt for a while with their clothes off. Hey, man, once I was down in Florida for a while, I did too. Man, after I came back from Hawaii, I had a badass tan. 7phoenician7 also believed that the fantasy that dark Asiatics are the same as Egyptians, but never put dark Asiatics side by side with their descendants. Oh, in fact, she did. She made a video debunking you directly and did so. And if you don't remember it, let me just flip to it here. Here we go, right here. 7phoenician7. Yeah. I did one on this I vamped over, so I'll just vamp a little bit over it again, but go ahead and enjoy here how they're going to show you people coming and giving gifts from foreign lands that are as dark as Egyptians. Ooh, my God. How were those Levantines shown? Well, sometimes they're shown like that. Sometimes they're almost as light as that. But are Egyptians ever shown that light? Well, we'll show you they are. There's that picture he showed. Here they are giving obeisance. There's a red-headed one. Hold on. Look. Their women are darker than an Egyptian woman. He's got a blue eye. Why are their women darker? Oh, terrible snap. Why is it that the vile Asiatic is the same color as the Egyptian? The same color. Why would that be? How could that possibly be whenever there's the dark Negroid sticking out this side? How could you explain that? Could you explain how a West African primitive knew that Egypt existed? Could you explain how you put yourself into the Bible when the Bible's about 3 Caucasians that come out of a boat after a starting of Adamic people that actually have this blushing or red skin they keep talking about? Let's continue. So we're just going to let this go here. How the Libyans were depicted. Well, I can show you some nobility that were lighter, but yet these aren't. They're warriors and so on. Oh, that was the nobility right there that were a little lighter. How about Eurasian people? What did they say about them? What did they show? Oh my gosh, it's a blonde-haired guy, but he's tan as hell. Here's a red-headed guy, and he's tan as hell too. What's going on? What's up with these whitey crackers here with all this different colored eyes and hair and things? How the Minoans? Oh my God, is that Egyptian colored? He seems quite red to me. I would say that's exactly the same red ochre symbology of the Caucasians, where they have the edict to keep the woman pale because she doesn't have to work anymore, and symbolically they draw it so in the art. In fact, the more of a worker you are, the more tanned you are. Etruscans, oh no. Well, this is from tomb paintings. Look. Oh man, look at the Adonis looking guy, how dark he is. How could that be? How could all these white people be so tan when the wall's white? How is this working? Oh no, one's lighter, one's darker. Is one a Negro? Is that a Negro with the straight hair? Are these Negroes? How about this famous painting here, where now we get to see the red ochreish male and the pale feminine woman with her kind of golden reddish blonde hair and the blonde-haired servant lady that's over here. How does that work? Well, let's see how the Egyptians depicted themselves. Maybe not in the darkest art, but famous pharaohs on famous walls. No Photoshop, no BS, just drinking directly off. Here we go. Oh, there's some darker ones. There's Thoth. What? How do you get females that could be, they can be tan a little bit. Yeah, because this is the prominent queen and she is in action. She does things. Oh no, wait, that's Hathor. Never mind. And how could you get a man that was that dark and a woman this pale? How could that possibly happen too? How could you get these three different colors out of one group? How could you get workers that tanned? That's funny. It's exactly the same color of the Minoans. Same color as those Greeks. Oh my God, there's a lighter one. Look at these women. How does that work? How could you get pale? Negroid women do not get pale. How do priests and temple guys get pale? How does it work that they get pale when workers get dark like this and they're the same color of those same Minoans, these gods, and how pale they are? Let's see how they all measure up. Let's see, Greeks versus Egyptians, a few different colors, that's the same. Well, how about those Etruscans and Minoans? Yeah, that's the same. This is getting strange. Egyptian, Asiatic, and Minoan, same. Oh my gosh, the lightest guy that's in that picture is the Egyptian and the women. Oh my gosh, it's the same effect here. It's the Egyptian off their own wall and the women. Etruscans are as dark as any darkened Egyptian. How does this all work with sunlight? Blacks don't understand it because it doesn't work that way with them, but Minoans and Egyptians understand it quite well, it seems. Oh look, her sun is the color of Egyptians. That's strange. How the ancients depicted Negroids. Well, they have prognostic jaws and things, and you can just at a glance tell those are Negroids. So that seems pretty accurate. Seems pretty consistent. And in this picture again, Asiatics are the same color as the Egyptian, but the Negro is not. And I think that about does it for your BS on that. But we can go back now, I guess, to, if you look up Ethiopia by the Greeks, who named it themselves, it's all over the place. The Iliad and the Odyssey describe a bunch of places, and if you take all of the people, Herodotus and all, Strabo and everybody, and put them together, it's all over the place. And none of those are Negroids, for it means sunburnt faces. And it seems like we're talking about the workers in those areas, doesn't it? But let's continue. Well, let's do this. Blue-eyed Egyptians. There's a blue-eyed Egyptian scribe. Scribe Mitri. I think he's fifth dynasty. Look at these mummies they've found and how they're red-headed and blonde-headed. And, well, it doesn't matter if they're black-headed. That's all Caucasian hair. And blue eyes. Yeah, Nefertiti, even that one eye that's left, it's blue too. Blue eyes, blue-eyed scribe, blue, Horaha, blue eyes, Old Kingdom. What's up with all that? Whitey Cracker in Egypt. How does that work? How does that work? How do West African primitives try to claim it? It doesn't seem possible. Ancient Sumerian, blue-eyed gods. They had the beards too. I've made a bunch of connections between them, but I can't seem to make any connections between Negroids. I've tried real hard. Can you tell the difference between these two? I think you can. Let's try again. Can you tell the difference between these two? I think you can. Can you tell what race that person is by just phenotype? I think you can. What if, oh hell, let's just look down here a little further. What if a black man put on a mask and said he was Egyptian? Well, it would be a lie. So, royal relatives of King Tut, Guya, blonde hair, Thuya, grandmother of Akhenaten, and great-grandmother of Tutankhamun, mother of Tai. Does any of this look Negroid? No. I could just show you the DNA right now, and it'd be pretty much a slap in the dirt. But yeah, blue-eyed guys. Yeah, blue-eyed guys. Cheddar Man. I don't want to hear some bullshit. Oh, yeah, there's red-headed Egyptians. Look, even on the wall. It's neat. They did it in yellow and put red lines on it. From a distance, it looks that. From up close, it doesn't. That's red. And they say, oh, that's henna. And they go, no, they looked at it under a microscope. It's red. So is Ramses. Yeah, legendary. Yeah, these guys, it's not, none of them are Negroids. None of them at all. Hey, what's up with this? Hajjah Dozer. These are the ancient Persians and stuff from out there in Medianites. What's going on with those? Well, I see a bunch of redheads. Brown. That one's, I guess, got black. That one's got black. Gray, brown, red. Brown, red. Can't tell on the ladies. Muhammad had a red beard. Let's continue. What else do we have here? Oh, Tarim Basin mummies that are here. Yeah, way up. Pyramids too. China. Look it up. Chinese pyramids and stuff. Of course, there always was the Asiatics. There always was the Sumerians that have their mastabas, and that's the way pyramids start out too, as mastabas and so on. So yeah. So I'm just gonna say, go out on a limb here. That's a whole lot more what Nefertiti looked like than any Negroid. Like, say, that sad attempt with the prognostic jaw and nothing that actually fits the statue. Now look at that. Now look at that with a blue eye, the thin lips. Yeah. Right. Here's another depiction of a Egyptian. Well, first of all, it's got Caucasian hair. Oh, they braided it like black people. Or are black people braiding like Caucasian Egyptians? Would that look Negroid to anybody? Here's an interesting fact, Herodotus and all that. Darius says himself, I am Darius, the great king, the king of kings, the king of many countries and many people, Persian, the son of a Persian, Aryan, from the Aryan race. Yep, swastikas all over that area. According to Herodotus, the Medes were anciently called by all people Aryans, but when Mede the Colchian came to them from Athens, they changed their name. Such is the account that they themselves give. He also goes on to tell you that Persians had done the same when Persis had come to them, and that all the people of the area had been called Aryans in ancient time until they got their names, which they called Egypt. But Egypt land was called Kemet. The river wasn't called the Nile. That's actually a Greek Nile river god, showing you a connection between Egyptus, and I just did a video on that. But they actually called the river R. Yeah, so would you maybe call those people Aryans? Oh man, it's Orions? Hurrians? What goes on with that? What goes on with that and Whitey Cracker Jesus? Yeah. Jesus is not a Negroid. He was always Middle Eastern, and I went, yeah, I'm showing you Middle Eastern Caucasians right here. Blue-eyed mummies of Peru, ancient Wari people. Yeah, predating everybody right up here. That's pretty neat. A lot of blue-eyed Egyptian shots in there, but man, I just wanted to show you this wig because it looked like it's from that blonde girl right there. And here they are analyzing the red hair from Ramses with Dr. Zahi Hawass. Yeah, of course it's Caucasian hair, and he's fine with that. It's just he's not really related to the people that originally were there. Yeah, guys, I'm not finding that wig. It's amazing how you can pull up the same thing twice and it won't show you some of the same pictures. Probably lost in the back of something else. Oh, in the graveyard that they have out there in the necropolis, it's showing blonde and red-haired mummies all buried together. Yeah, so here's one Egyptian wig, and yeah, it's auburn hair. Yeah, they've made good note of it. And that's another one. And that's Caucasian hair with shells and everything in it. And there's this famous one that's blondie brown. It's like 4th dynasty too, or is this the 6th dynasty? There's 4th, 6th, and like 12th dynasty ones they have. Here's the famous one that's mixed 2 different colors. Yeah, blonde curly hair. So anyhow, guys, I think that about does it for Radio Idiot. But oh yeah, wait, he's got more stupid things to say. So I guess we ought to go check out the stupid things he's got left to say. So let's see if we can crawl out of that hole. Yeah, they're pretty dark. Admixed Negroids in America get that dark too, but that's not the people that were there at that time. Yeah, he looks lighter like the one on the left and definitely not as dark as the other guy, so what is that? I can also play 7phoenician7 game, compare the Asiatics with light-skinned African Americans, but that still doesn't mean that light-skinned African Americans are Asiatics. And it still will never mean that you're the Caucasian Egyptians either, Radio. Oh boy. High admixed. Oh boy, high admixed. Oh, Nubians that aren't quite as dark. Yeah, in some of the art, and I just had one recently with this idiot guy telling me, oh, some of them are red too, so what's up with that? Well, you can easily tell that's a Caucasian on a chariot and a horse, which Caucasians had, and they're running over vile Nubian troglodytes. Yeah, yeah, and some of them are red. It seems like when they draw them over each other, if you did black, it would just look like a big mess. So they're doing red and black too. Now also, this horse is the same color. So, what? Never mind. You can tell these are Negroids. You can tell that's not. But instead of playing her games, well, you just tried to. Let's see. But instead of playing games and saying Asian are the same, I'd rather just tell the truth and say Egyptians and Egyptians are the same, but different from Asiatics. Not necessarily. Genetics shows that they're closer related to Levantine, Asiatics, and Europeans than even the people living there currently now. And the Negroid admix shows up much, much later. Oh boy, we're getting tired of seeing that picture. Yeah, because that doesn't have anything to do with it. Very little, if any, facial hair, if you can check it out. And they try to show you these beige admix people again trying to play the game where he said, I'm not going to play the game, and then he plays the game. Because he is nothing but a game. He seems to think it's a game to try to steal somebody else's heritage. He has nothing to do with this sad prognostic jawed trying to say that he is a non-prognostic jawed long-haired Egyptian. It's terribly sad, really pathetic. He says descendant, ancestor, like he's really the ancestor of them. Dude, no matter what you do, the women are pale, the men are darker. Here's a map of the Caucasus and Caucasian lands. Do you see Egypt in any part of the map? Oh no, you're going to talk about the Caucasus range? Well, if you do that, then I'll show you the range of where West African Negroids are from. How pathetic for you to have even tried that idiocy. Let's try this. Let's see if I can find Caucasian race. We're going to look at what it says the Caucasian race is. Caucasian race. Also, Caucasoid or Europeoid is a grouping of human beings historically regarded as a biological taxon, which, depending on which of the historical race classification used, have usually included some, if not all, of the ancient and modern populations of Europe, Western Asia, Central Asia. Hold on, where are these places at? Europe. No, so we know where that is on a map. Western Asia, yeah, there sure is there. Central Asia, yeah, so there's that. South Asia, where's that? Oh, over to India, but not really the point down there. North Africa, oh my God, does that contain Egypt? Yes, it does, but what it doesn't contain is where you're from, way over here in the nothings, thousands of miles away. Oh, and look, tellingly, North Africa and the Horn of Africa. Oh my gosh, that's Caucasians. Yep, and they tell you here that down here, if you go through the whole thing, that it gradually fell out of favor in the 1960s to the 1980s, and that from now on we're just going to call them Caucasian. Yeah, there's all this stuff on it, so you can look up Caucasian race and you can see how you're totally wrong on where you think Caucasians are and all of the sources of it, because they were the ones that made up the definition, not you, racist idiot. And we're back. We see no Egypt and no Nile River. No, not on something showing you the Caucasus mountain ranges. On that Caucasian map, proving Caucasian just to be a lie. No, I just showed you where all they're from, showing you him to be a lie and a fraud. What an idiot to not even look anything up in the simplest of ways, and to try to just delude himself into believing some fake crap. And truth is, there was never a migration from the Caucasus region into Egypt prior to the Persian-Iran conquest of Egypt in 525 BC. The Persians weren't from up in the Caucasians when they did it, but they were Caucasians. Fancy that shit. But lo and behold, yeah, there's back migrations. We can see it genetically. Back migrations pre-Egyptian times and so on. And then later, and then there's this thing called the Hyksos, which actually is before your Persian conquest that you're trying to show off right here. So again, you're an idiot. But let's continue. Oh no. A quote from a 2,000-year-old ancient historian defeats 1,000 fake neo-Nazis. And, okay, so let's go with what this is. The Egyptians are colonists sent out by the Ethiopians. No. He's missing a part. It says they say, because that's all hearsay. They say, the Ethiopians themselves say that they are colonists sent by the Ethiopians. We just looked at what Ethiopian means too. So who is this? The Sumerians over there where it showed that blotch out? Or hey, did you look real close? There's a blotch right in the Caucasian mountains right there. What an idiot. And the large part of the customs of the Egyptians are they hold Ethiopian, the colonists still preserving the ancient manners. They did do circumcision. So you heard the ancient historian, Egypt was founded by Ethiopians. No, if you'll read it, it's what they say. He also tells you they say there's giant ants in India that mine gold, and cattle with horns so big in North Africa that they have to walk backwards because they'll dig into the ground, and their skin's even tougher, and I think that does with elephants. All kinds of silly things that people have debunked. He is the father of histories, but he's also the father of hearsay, because if somebody said something, he went with it. He was subject to writing down stories about mermaids and crap like that too. He just doesn't like the faceless part of it. Oh, wait. And now he's going to use the word lynch. 7phoenician7, the faceless fraud, tried so hard and lynched his or herself or itself. Well, that's funny, because he's sitting here lynching himself with his own laws under his own rules. That's disgusting. What a pitiful, pathetic person. Oh my God, now he's going to show this, showing his true hate there and the way that he thinks. Yep. So bad wants to see what 7phoenician7 looks like so he can tug it to her. Yeah, he wants to sit and tug it. 7phoenician7, keep trying. Your fake DNA studies and late pseudo-history will always fail. The truth about the race of origins ancient Egyptians has already been told. Yet we just showed it long ago. Yeah, you can't change it, Negro, no matter what you do. You can't change it no matter what you do. You can't make West Africans pop up like popcorn in Egypt. It doesn't work that way. It never will. Until somebody develops a time device. And if those are Caucasians, something else might happen different with Negroids then if you don't shut your stupid, racist, lying mouths. For you're causing your own racism by your own hatred and jealousy by your own hands. You're not in the Bible. You weren't Egyptians. You weren't Moors or anything along that line. You're West African primitives.